are doing a new series on the feminine archetypes or the feminine journey or the women archetypes, depending on how you want to look at it. And I'm doing that because I see you have loved the mother archetypes, the different mothers. And like I said in the videos, it's not all the mothers. There's many, many, many types of mothers. But I just thought I should just share a little bit just to give you a little bit of perspective on how you look at your mother and how you view yourself as a mother and how you view your daughter who could become a mother. Soon my daughter has become a mother, and that has made me look at motherhood in a slightly different light. And so that's why I was doing that series. So I figured let me continue with the archetype series, and this time just doing instead of mothers, because mother is part of a feminine archetype, right? But there's more archetypes in the feminine. In fact, there's 9 archetypes. I may or may not do all of them. I'll do the ones that are most relevant for us here, particularly in South Africa. And I decided today that I will start with the Queen archetype. But for people who don't know what archetype is, I mean, the simplest way to explain what an archetype is, it's a recurring human pattern. So in other words, across all cultures, across all races, across all humanity, you will know that in a community or in a society or in a nation, there will be a hero. When I say hero, you automatically know what kind of person I'm talking about, or what kind of characteristics comes to mind, or what kind of behaviors come to mind, what kind of ways, how they move. You know what a hero is. You know what a mother is. That's why a mother is an archetype. You know what a man is. You know what a warrior is. If I say warrior, that's an archetype. So throughout humanity, across time, there's been recurring pattern of human behaviors that keep appearing. Even in a family structure, one will emerge as a leader, one will emerge as a victim, one will emerge as a what. That's what archetypes are. An archetype is a word that was coined by Carl Jung. And you know, some of you know that I'm a Jungian student, Jungian scholar, even though it's not formal, but I study Jung's work so intensely. And a lot of my teachings are based on Jung's theories and so on. So that's what an archetype is. And so there's masculine archetypes and there's female archetypes. Some of them are, as I've started with the mother. There's the lover archetype in female archetypes. There's the queen, there's the maiden, there's the wise woman, there's the mystic, there's the sage, there's the warrior. And yes, I will touch on the ones that matter the most for the purpose of the series. I might do all of them, I might not. We shall see. And also, if you engage and ask questions, maybe I can, go even further. But so today I want to start with the queen. And the reason I want to start with the queen is because it is one of those archetypes that is misunderstood. In fact, I don't think people even know that when they call each other queen, they're referring to such a powerful and strong archetypes. And I can understand. I mean, I can understand why we refer to each other as queens. It is that whole self-worth thing. I mean, to be fair, I understand because every woman has the queen within her. In fact, every woman has all the feminine archetypes within her. It just depends on what time it is in your life and what role you are playing. This is why when you become a mother, so many things that used to matter to you when you were a maiden don't matter anymore. And when you are no longer playing an active mothering role where you are an empty nester, which I'm fast becoming an empty nester. My son will be going, my last one will be going to college next year. So yeah, I am becoming an empty nester. So you take on a different energy. So think of these archetypes as you are watching these videos, as you are following these teachings, think of them as energies and think of them as to what time it is for you right now. Is it time to be in your queendom? And what does that mean? Is it time for you to be in your lover archetype? Because that's another misunderstood one. I'll do the lover after the queen, actually. Is it time for you to be the warrior? Is it time for you to be the dark mother? What time is it? I mean, we spoke about Jacinta, or I spoke about Jacinta in the dark mother archetype as an archetype that's emerging because it is time. It is time for the dark mother to rise, and she's embodying that energy as an archetype. So listen and understand where you are at. Perhaps you are in your time to be the queen and you are stuck in maiden energy. I'll explain what maiden is. Perhaps it's your time to be the wise woman and you're stuck in the lover archetype. You want to understand where you are at. And that's also one of the things I especially women who want to step into femininity even more so, women who want to finally release the heavy masculine energy that we are carrying, who come for coaching and it's like, I'm tired of being a masculine. And then we figure out which feminine energy are you mostly inclined to be, but more than that, which feminine energy, which time it is for you, what time it is for you. It could be time for you to be the lover because you have been a warrior and the strong one and the queen for far too long. So that's what archetypes are. It is energies, and I'm teaching them here as energies that you embody that are relevant for whatever time it is in your life. So let's start by unpacking the queen. And I just felt like the queen is the best space to start because of the reasons I've mentioned. It is the easiest thing. And people don't understand it. I mean, the queen is such a powerful archetype, but not for the reasons that you think they are. So let me put on my glasses so I can follow my notes and I just don't run off on a tangent. Okay, what exactly is a queen? I mean, first of all, think of a queen in real life. Where does a queen stay? In a castle. What does a queen do? A queen rules over a community, a nation, a society. What does that mean? That means the queen is sitting in a high space of responsibility, accountability, leadership, and caretaking of those who are in need. I mean, think of folklore, think of Queen Elizabeth, who just passed on, think of Queen Mujaji. Think of any queen that you can imagine, both real and imagined. They are in a position of authority. So queendom is less about the weave, the clothes, the looking good. That's actually more of a lover archetype than a queen. But a queen, as an archetype, as an energy, it represents mature, powerful, feminine leadership. And in modern times, you'd find it expressed in women who rise up the corporate ladder, who make it into leadership positions, who become CEOs, who become high executives, who sit on boards, who become chairpersons, or women who rise and become community leaders. Although, if you become a community leader, you can fall under the caregiver archetype, and I don't want to get into that rabbit hole, but I think you are with me. So a queen energy or a queen archetype, you are in your queen energy if, first of all, there is major responsibility sitting on your shoulders. So you can't say I'm a queen when you are not responsible for anything big, and it has to be something that affects other people, something that's collective, community, company, society, Stockfell chairperson, hint, nudge. I'm a chairperson of a Stockfell, and whenever I am in my chairperson role, I always just close my eyes and I'm like, okay, so it's queendom now, because that's what it is. You become a queen in that space, because then you need to be fair, you need to lead, you need to take accountability, you need to be responsible, you need to be generous, you need to walk a very tight rope, you need to be diplomatic, you need to be dealing with all sorts of stakeholders. And so that's what a queen is. So you are a queen archetype, or you are in your queendom archetype when you have a lot of high responsibility and you are in high authority. You are not a queen because you are wearing Louis Vuitton or you are wearing Gucci. That's not it. Yes, a queen can wear those things too, but that's not even part of it. If anything, a queen is not self-serving at all. In fact, you are not in a queen energy if everything you do is about you. If it's self-serving, no, it's more of a lover archetype that does that. And there's a reason why a lover archetype does that. So a queen, first of all, you have to be in a position of some form of authority, whether that is at home, that is at work, that is in your other areas of responsibility. You are in your queendom. For as long as you have to be the one that the buck stops with, you are in your queen energy. Okay, I hope that is clear. Secondly, one of the biggest energies that the queen, or rather one of the biggest gifts that the queen energy brings or has or has been gifted with, is the gift of generosity. You cannot be in your queendom when you are not generous. Again, think back to what a real queen in real life is or in story is. Queen looks after their people, the subjects. A queen is the one that ensures that there's fairness, everyone is fed, the subjects are well looked after, everyone is getting what they need. and they're leading with fairness, they're leading with generosity, and they're leading with integrity. That is a queen energy. Think of Queen Mojaji. Think of, in modern times, think of Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama embodies powerful queen energy. Think of former president of Liberia, Ellen Joseph Sirleaf, embodied powerful, powerful queen energy, bringing a lot of peace and promoting a lot of women's rights in Liberia. So that's what a queen energy does. So if you find yourself embodying those qualities, whether it's in a small group or a big group or at work or whatever, and you find yourself being automatically put in leadership roles, being automatically asked to come in on really difficult decisions, when you are asked to judge a particular situation, and I don't mean judge in a bad way, when you always find yourself in places where you are trusted with people's lives, people's well-being, people's, well-being, yes, um, you must know that your queen energy or your queen archetype is actually getting activated. And if you don't even shy away from those roles, then your queen energy is being activated and you probably embody a queen archetype even more than you think. So you can see now that it has nothing to do with weaves or makeup or anything like that. But like I said earlier, I get why people do that because, all of us, anyone has, all women have the queen in themselves, the same way that all men have the king in themselves. So, like all archetypes, there is the shadow side. So, what is the shadow side of the queen archetype? When you know that, yeah, you are a queen, but you are operating from the shadow, which is why even in folklore, in mythology, there will be the evil queen, like Snow White and the evil queen. There would always just be the shadow, because again we live in planet Earth, and this is the planet of duality, so there's always the other side. So what are some of the um negatives or shadow side of queen archetype that you need to watch over for, particularly if you identify with this archetype, or it is you are finding yourself in the queen archetype energy right now? What is it that you need to be looking out for? So, I mean, the obvious one is when you are leading without integrity, when you are choosing favorites, when you're choosing sides, when you're supposed to be a queen. Remember, a queen is looking after everybody. It's a very, very delicate and difficult position to be in, which is why not everybody has the authority, or not everybody gets to have that energy of the queen. So when you find yourself, wobbly, you know, shape shifting, choosing sides, having favorites, pitting people against each other, having spies, and just directly or indirectly oppressing other people. I mean, in modern times, it could be when let's say you're in a corporate space, when you know that there is a junior person who needs to be promoted, and you sitting up there and you are part of the leadership, you are in your queen throne, you are in your queenness, and deep down, because queen is also gifted with wisdom, although there's the wise woman who's gifted with more wisdom. But, by virtue of being a queen, you will be gifted with wisdom. So you don't suffer fools. You know that someone needs to be protected or promoted, and you look the other way. That's the shadow side, when jealousy creeps in, when competition creeps in, when you doubt your own authority and you doubt your own power, you are slowly losing power. So when you operate in the shadow side of the queen, it means you doubt your own grace, you doubt your own power, and you lose that energy. And that's why you become the wicked queen, which is why we have wicked queens, as I've explained in mythology and in stories. So you want to watch out for unfairness, acting out of, spite, competing with people who are way junior than you, and not trusting the authority that you are given. So that's when you lose power, and that's what you need to look out for. Things like being threatened by the rise of another queen, because, you can see another queen coming up, and, you want to cling on to power, or you want to cling on to influence that you had, and you are not allowing space for other people to thrive, for someone else to rise up. Then you are in your shadow of queendom, and you unfortunately lose power. How you gain even more power and remain in your queendom even long after the position itself has gone, long after, where people will never forget that about you, is when you trust the energy of the queen within you, when you understand your self-worth beyond appearances, beyond the position, when you let go of a role when it's time for it to be let go, even when you're still high, even when you still need it, or not when you still need it, even when you could stay on, but you just know that, no, it's actually my time is up. I need to move on to other things. That's when actually your queen energy becomes even more so. I'm reminded of my mentor, Ausman Hlahlahla. Anyone who speaks about Ausman Hlahlahla remembers when she was in her queen state, when she was the MD of Airports Company. South African airports are the way they are today because of that woman when she was at Airports Company. And she says she knew that by the 10th year she needed to leave. And she knew that if she stays on, it's actually going to mess up the legacy that she has built. And so that's when you know that you're a queen. She's now chairperson of the Bafokeng, Royal Bafokeng. That is a queen energy. You get my point, right? You gain even more power as a queen when you invest, not necessarily money. You might not have money per se, but when you invest, like when you influence, let's say you have influence or you have power, you influence a cause that you feel is worthy in maybe society, in a community, or even in companies, in schools, whatever it is that you know in your heart of hearts that it is a worthy cause. You utilize, you use your resources, your influence, your power to ensure that you don't sit back. You know, the thing about queen energy is that it is not self-serving. The moment it is self-serving, it is no longer queen energy. So yes, you serve yourself. I mean, you are a queen, you will get what's due to you. But everything about how you move, how you operate is really not about you. You understand that fully. You understand that fully. And that's how you remain in power and you gain even more power. And like I just said, generosity, generosity, generosity. With great power comes great responsibility, or to those much is given, much is expected. So being in a position of queendom, or being given the archetype of queen or the energy of queen, means a lot has been given to you, and therefore a lot is expected. So generosity is part of it. Where you lose power, yeah, it's literally what I've just said. Pursuing self-serving things like wanting to be famous, wanting to be seen. Everything is about you, you, you. Yeah, that's where you lose the queen energy and the queen power, and it morphs into something else, a sense of being entitled to praise and all that, and also wanting to be seen everywhere. You know, have you noticed how queens are not all over the place? They're not everywhere. You know, think of a real queen in real life, and think of queens in folk in stories, and think of people who embody queen energy. Ka sibabone ba tletse on Twitter and social media, posting nonstop and all that. That's not a queen energy. Queen preserves their energy. They know when to speak. They know when they're needed, and they disappear when they have to disappear. But we never forget them. So Queen understand that less is more, and they're of royal. I mean, it comes from a royal energy. So you can't just be seen with everybody and everywhere. You have a lot of responsibilities, and you have a lot at stake. So yeah, that is the Queen archetype. I hope it made sense. And I'll come back soon with the next archetype. I think I'll do the lover archetype because it's another one that is misunderstood, or rather, it's reduced to sensuality and sexuality, which, yes, it is a big part of it, but there's a little bit more to the lover than just that. Hope you enjoyed the Queen. Please do ask questions. Please do share your thoughts, and please let me know if you need to cultivate your feminine energy and you want to move away from masculinity. I am available for sessions for that. And this is my story. I cannot wait to hear yours.